Today on episode 253 of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, the TCF Sports Minute, a new team builder, our Masters preview, College Hoops Corner, and the TCF NOT top 3 of the worst sports movies. Let's roll. Hello and welcome back to Typical Chicago Fans, brought to you by our incredible sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Today is episode 253. Make sure to find us on X at typical_Chicago, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can find us there as well for all of our content in video form. Get on over to YouTube, hit the red subscribe button there. Wherever you get your podcast, we are there as well. So subscribe, rate, review, 5 stars, wherever you get your podcast. You can find me on X at BoomyTCF, and the man sitting next to me, Zach at ZLilia TCF. Zach, we always talk about the weather to get started. I mean, I don't know if it can get much better.
No, it's beautiful
out. A little
out.
Chilly, but...
Yeah, the wind is kind of gone away, which helps a lot. I'll take cold over wind any day.
Yeah, for sure. It's when you get the cold and the wind together.
I went golfing on, what was that, Monday? I think it was, and it sucked.
Yeah, so I feel like you can deal with the wind if it's like 70 to 75, but if it's going to be colder than like 60, there can't be the wind.
No. The wind just makes everything worse, too. It makes you more tired.
A little wind burn.
Yeah, especially when you're out golfing. It's like there's nothing to really block per se.
Well, you always hit in the trees, so you got those to block.
That is true. Or the wind usually ruins my shot.
Yeah.
I have enough problems keeping it.
I was going to say, that's not all the wind's fault.
Yeah, keeping it straight anyways is not usually what I do. Usually either right or left.
I can't even say too much. It's not like we're that much different of golfers. So
no, but yeah, the weather has been nice, other than a little bit of rain.
Yep.
But we've kind of stayed away from the severe stuff.
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed. I mean, I can't complain too much. Even the rain hasn't been like, holy cow, downpour like it's been in some parts of the country. So
no, but like my pond, my parents have been like all last year it was down, and this year
top to the brim. This year
we've had to take the like little it's like a crate,
and
we've had to take it off because it's already filling up too high. So it's just the opposite of what we had last year.
That's wild. Would not have guessed that. Let's jump into things. As always, we've got sinkers and floaters. Zach, get us started with your sinker.
My sinker is MLB day offs.
Yeah.
Because you get going, like you got a 3-game series. The Cubs played Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then they have a day off, and you're just like, well, what am I supposed to do today?
Right.
You're so used to every day having the Cubs, but they don't play a day or a Thursday in April.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things like they need the days off. But when you get into the heart of the baseball season, you're just like, man, there's a day off, and
I know,
kind of sucks.
And it's not like, yeah, you can throw on whatever games on the national broadcast. That's not every day though, and it's not like college basketball where there's something on every single night. Like you can't flip on, Tennessee Martin versus College of Charleston.
Or even like if you can't always watch the White Sox because they're on CHSN.
We'll get to them in a minute, but you don't want to watch that anyway.
No, but it's like you can't watch sometimes you can't even watch the White Sox if they're on.
Here's a little inside tip. You don't have Hulu.
No.
Do you have ESPN Plus?
Yeah.
College baseball's on just about every night of the week. Unfortunately, Thursday is usually their night off as well.
So
that's what I've been feeling.
Usually Thursday or Monday days off and for baseball.
Yeah.
And it's just like one of those things you go into the season, you're like every day you got a game either in the afternoon or at night, and then the next thing you know they have a day off, and you're like, well, what am I going to watch now?
Me and Zach are like living Pablo Escobar memes, from Narcos, where he's just like standing around looking. That's us on Thursdays for the most part. My sinker, this is a hot take. A lot of people are going to disagree with me. The old fuddy-duddy traditions of the Masters played out. I'm tired of hearing about it.
Well, yeah, there is a guy who has went to prison and gotten out who is playing this year. Angel Cabrera.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he is playing. There's people who are not very happy about that because it's just a traditional thing.
Yeah.
This just great event.
Now, listen, I'll say this. I am also not super crazy about, like, the wasted management open, like how people are, like, drinking like crazy, acting like fools. Like, there's a happy medium to be found. The no cell phones thing
played
out. And here's what I'll say.
So fake about it too.
Here's what I'll say. I don't know if it's the actual tradition that I think is played out, or the fact that everybody loves to talk about it every single year. Oh my gosh, you can't take phones. You have to do a lottery for a ticket. Everybody talks about it, but I just feel like, dude, it's 2025. Like, can we be over the tradition? Oh, it's tradition. We only have 300 members. Okay, like,
it's one of the majors where like the practice rounds are almost as like hard to get a ticket for than the actual
they're just as hard.
Play.
Yeah, and like I get it. I get like it's you have your one event a year that's like old school traditional, hoity-toity golf, but like I still haven't decided if it's the tradition that drives me insane or the people that want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's kind of both. Like people who have gotten to go to it or have tickets like throughout the years.
Shout out to our guy Pigoy who did get
he went
to see
Tuesday practice rounds, which practice rounds you can take your cell phones in.
No, you cannot.
Oh, really?
He had to take a digital camera.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. That's so annoying. But it's like also like the hardest course in the world to play a round on.
Oh yeah, 100%. You can't. They only have 300 members and.
Like even St. Andrews, people can play St. Andrews. Like it's not like the most impossible thing ever.
It's expensive.
And like you have to book out.
A year
like,
in
you have
advance.
to be a member and pay crazy amounts of money. And then it's in Augusta, Georgia.
There's nothing else there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know I'm probably sounding like I live in the internet age way too much, but I'm just kind of over the tradition of the Masters.
Yeah, and it's something that like is cool to watch, but I would love to go to the Masters, but
we're not. We're going to have to hit.
Golf is a sport that is hard to watch in person, especially the first two rounds when there's a lot of people playing.
Yep.
And it spanned from like 6 a.m. to what they just got done around.
It's about 8 o'clock Eastern time, and they just finished up recently.
It's a long day.
Yeah, I'm just kind of over it. Like, obviously, I'm going to sit and watch it all Saturday and Sunday, but I'm just kind of
good Sunday sport.
Yeah.
My floater is the Masters app, though.
All right, fair enough.
Masters app
That's
is cool,
good.
especially this year. They have like you can see every shot from the range, which like Bryson DeChambeau shot like 400 shots on the range, which is like double of what everyone else.
I was gonna say it's like when me and you go to the range and we're just trying to hit nukes.
Live TV is stupid, and it doesn't go on until a certain time, and then it goes off the air. And it's not always on.
Well, and even to add to that, the website, Masters Live, is phenomenal, too, because you get the broadcast version
and
of
then
it.
You can, like, if you bet on a player, you can
follow them.
Yeah, you can follow them, and it's a very cool app. And it's one of those apps just like the March
that you have
Madness.
for 5 days.
Yeah, and then you can it, and then you say, oh, here's the Masters. Like March Madness. How many people just got rid of that?
100 that and the tournament, the ESPN Tournament Challenge one. Which shout out Joe Snook. Off on a tangent here, but Joe Snook has won the TCF Bracket Challenge for like 3 years in a row, and he won again this year.
It would have been close if Duke would have won it all.
Yep. But yeah, the Masters app is phenomenal, and it'll be deleted off my phone Monday morning.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like on the top trending app because everyone downloads it like Monday.
Yep. I downloaded it this morning on my drive to work.
Yeah, but it's an awesome app.
Yep.
And they're making it better and better every year, but no one keeps that app in their phone.
No. If you keep the Masters app in your phone year round, you're a lunatic.
Well, it's also just wasted space.
100%. Moving on to my floater, and that's my parenting. I don't know if I look at this as a floater. Some people might not. My son right now, his TV obsession, you saw it when you walked in.
Yeah.
My son is obsessed with The Simpsons.
It's good.
Yeah, it's my favorite TV show of all time, so I'm very happy. Now, there's obviously some things in there that we try to limit.
Well, it's the clean version of Family Guy. Let's just say that.
Which, unfortunately, he did walk in one day, and we were watching Family Guy, and because it was Brian and Stewie, so he just said puppy baby,
it's cartoon.
Yeah, so we've got to limit Family Guy, so we've settled on The Simpsons. Obviously, still a lot of, kids shows, but people might come at me. That's fine. I don't.
The Simpsons isn't that bad.
No,
you really think about what.
But it's so funny
to
talk about because when I got my first TV when I was in 3rd grade, that was one of those things that was borderline to watch as a 3rd grader because in the 90s, you probably don't remember this because you were 5 or 6 or you were born in year 6 of The Simpsons. But there was a big public outcry that it wasn't a kid's show or whatever.
Well, now you have Family Guy to kind of go off of, and it's very clean compared to Family Guy or American Dad and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm taking it as a parenting win. Obviously, we're limiting it, but
at least at night you have something to watch that you want to watch and he wants to watch. So if it's on the big TV, then you can.
Well, and the big reason is because I'm fairly certain he broke the Fire Stick the other day. Right now we're on the hunt for another Fire Stick so that we can get his TV working, so I don't have to compromise the big TV. So we're settling on The Simpsons right now.
Yeah, that's fine. You said you can't really talk that much. So.
Yeah, there's no bad words. I mean, it's network television.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's animated. He likes it.
The Simpsons is pretty clean if you think about it.
100%.
Even some of the kids shows nowadays. There's more, not politics per se, but
right, yeah, and I'll argue every day, some of the shows that are out there, The Simpsons is just as controversial.
He
doesn't.
A lot of it, even now,
he sees the bright colors, and
you watch back some of the Simpsons episodes from when we were kids. And you would have never thought of what they were actually talking about.
Right, 100%. So it's not the only show we're watching, so don't come at me for that.
It could be worse.
100%. So with that being said, let's jump into the TCF Sports Minute. We'll get started with the Blackhawks. 22, 46, and 10. 51 points, still the second worst in the NHL. It looks like they are not going to finish last in the NHL.
No,
4 games left.
They've unfortunately won too much.
Yep. But hey, I mean, like you've said the last couple episodes, they've got the younger guys up there. They're figuring it out. They have won a couple games, so it's not like it's the end of the world. I think there's a lot of positives that have been.
And it's still a lottery. It's not like if you get last place, then you automatically have the number 1 pick.
Unfortunately, it would be our luck that we win the lottery in the worst draft in the last 3 to 5 years. But hey, you can't ever argue about a number 1 overall draft pick. So even a 2 overall draft pick, it is what it is. But
because you got to make the season feel a little bit better.
Yeah, 100%. 4 games left. I mean, the end is near. I don't know. How do you feel? Are you going to watch the NHL playoffs?
I usually do because they're on ESPN a lot, so they're easy to watch.
Yep.
And they get exciting at the end, and you kind of reminds you of back when the Blackhawks were in the playoffs. And
yep.
Nothing's better than an overtime playoff game.
Especially the West Coast games that start at 9:30.
Yeah,
I like throwing those on.
But yeah, I mean, maybe the first few periods are tough to watch. But, after that, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I was pulling up the Ice Hogs standings here. They've got to be getting close to the end of their season as well. Kind of looking at what's coming up the pipeline. I mean, things can't get a whole lot worse if we're being completely honest.
No.
It's just one of those.
It's trending in the right direction, you'd have to say.
The Ice Hogs are 28, 30, and 6. Does not look like they're going to make the playoffs. So.
Well, now that pretty much all their players have been taken away.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, that's the Blackhawks. 4 games left. We've only got about another week to talk about them. On the positive side of things, though, the Bulls playing well. I mean, they're fighting for that 8th seed.
They hopefully they can get the 8th seid because then all you got to do is win 1 game.
Yeah,
and you're in. And if you lose, you're not done. You get to play the winner of the 9-10.
Yeah.
So it's a lot better spot to be in. They're playing a lot better, but they showed what they're going to do against the Cavs.
Yeah,
if they do play
big time.
So I mean, it's fun to be in the play-in, hopefully make the playoffs. But you saw the other night.
Let's be honest. I think this is going to sound crazy. They've got a better chance at beating the Cavaliers than they do the Celtics, I think.
Oh, yeah, but you saw what they did against the Cavs the other night. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, they're sitting at 37 and 43 currently as we speak. They are the 9 seed, but just a half a game out of the 8 seed. 2 games left.
Yeah, 2 games left. There is a scenario where they could maybe even get the 7th seed.
Yeah.
It is a tight race there, but You just want to at least get the 8 seed.
Because you can't, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know about you. I don't feel super confident in them having to go on the road in that first game.
No.
Because I believe if they get the 8 seed, they would have to go to Orlando.
But at least you have a chance that if you lose, you're not automatically done.
Correct.
You have a chance to go play, and you are the home team, at least the second game.
That is
if
true.
You do lose.
That is true. And where I think they would, if they would flip-flop spots with Atlanta, so it would be then the winner of Atlanta and Miami.
And they just beat Miami in Miami last night.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm almost with you. Just get the 8 seed, go down to Orlando, beat Orlando, and then you get Cleveland, or I'm sorry, you would get Boston.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, either way, they're not getting out of the first round.
No.
Let's not.
But at least it's something to watch. It's like exciting.
And I can actually watch a Bulls game.
Yeah, it's usually on TNT.
Yeah, and I've watched like 4 Bulls games this year.
But the excitement at the end of the season is always nice to have.
Oh, 100%.
Even though it's just for, they really shouldn't be in the playoffs.
And still looking at like a top 12 draft pick.
Yeah, which the draft is going to be a little weird this year.
I think it's the closer we get in after March Madness, I still think it's a better draft than we originally thought.
Yeah,
but we'll see. We will see.
Because at this point, you don't know who's all going to be in the draft.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot more reasons to stay nowadays.
Oh, 100%.
Than there is a long time ago, or was a long time ago.
Yeah, big time.
Cooper Flagg most likely is going to get into the draft, but you don't really know for sure. And players like that.
So I want to talk about that because I have a friend who's a diehard Duke fan, and he's every day, coming up with reasons as to why Cooper Flagg is going to go back to Duke. Do you know what the most money ever given in an NIL contract was before anything right now, like before this season started? It was Coleman Hawkins for $6 million.
That's insane.
Didn't make the NCAA tournament. Kansas State sucked. So let's just say Cooper gets $7 million.
And it's not even close to your first year rookie contract.
Yeah, a rookie contract is going to be like $13 million.
Yeah, especially for a number 1 pick.
Yeah, even if they can go it crazy and somehow find $10 million, that's still way short of
the only thing that could keep them there is the way that they lost.
Yeah, that is. I'll give you that.
I think if they would have won an NCAA championship,
but for $5 million,
oh yeah,
I'm out on the first thing smoking.
But
and also, like, everybody will say, like, well, he's doing this because he doesn't want to go to Washington. Washington's going to be awful again next year.
You're going to go to a bad team either way.
Yeah, dude, you're not going to, like...
Every year you're going to the worst team from the season before.
Yeah, and even if something crazy happens in the lottery, they're in the lottery for a reason.
Yeah, it's people always say you don't want to go to the bad team. Well, then you're never going to want to go in the top 5.
Exactly. Then you want to be a middle road guy where you get picked up like by a San Antonio, later in the first round, and that's just not how it works. But yeah,
and
they
always say, like, if let's say he doesn't go out this year, that's 1 year away from the Supermax.
Yes, that is true.
That also, you want to start that time quickly.
100%. Moving on to the Cubs, sitting at 9-6, first place in the NL Central, half a game up on the Brew Crew. We are recording this Thursday night. Cubbies are off today, on their way to the Dodgers this weekend.
Some late night baseball coming up here.
I love it. Where do we feel right now? Obviously first place, 9-6. I still feel like the bullpen has given away 2 of them, but
I feel really good. But that Justin Steele going on the IL hurts bad.
Yeah, and I know it's minor, and they say it's going to be short.
Elbow tendonitis though is never good.
Yeah, that one's got me a little bit worried.
Yeah, you don't like to see that, especially at the beginning of the year, especially how well he pitched in the first few games.
Yep.
And then he just out of nowhere he's on the IL.
And I haven't looked, so you might be able to fill me in here. Cade Horton's got to be ready, right? The name we've been hearing for years is Cade Horton, and he's shot up through the Cubs system.
But he didn't.
Do you call him up to give him
They did not call him up. Yeah, they bring up Ethan Roberts, who has been with the Cubs before.
Yeah.
I think they're just still giving Cade Horton some time.
Not rushing him.
Don't want to rush it.
Right. If this team was 4-9, then maybe you're like, hey, dude, let's go.
If he's going to go back down quickly.
Yeah.
It's only, 15 days? Yeah. Then you would think about if it was a longer term.
Sure.
But you don't want to bring him up, then bring him back down.
Yep, I don't disagree. Bullpen has obviously been the Achilles heel. The Cubs, I believe, have taken the most amount of walks at the plate, so hitting has not been the approach on the offensive
They've
side.
won games with 3 hits.
Yeah.
Matthew Boyd, maybe the best pitcher on the team. Shota pitched really, really well.
Yep.
Ben Brown, a little bit of
Still
a rocky
figuring it
start,
out.
but he gave him 4 or 5 innings.
I just want Ben Brown to stay healthy because I think healthy he can be one of the best pitchers in the National League Central.
Yeah.
Because he has the stuff.
Kyle Tucker, Player of the Month.
That guy is he made himself a lot of money. Player of the Week.
Sorry, Player of the Week.
Yep.
It hasn't been a whole month of baseball. Isn't it funny? He was Player of the Month for the NL, and Bregman was the AL Player of the Week. So
I like to see that.
Signed or went to different teams.
Yep. From the Astros.
2 guys who could have been on the Cubs.
That is true.
And Bregman.
Yeah, man, I've been pretty happy with the Cubs offense, but that bullpen's got me worried. Presley with that deal.
Well, shout out to Ian Happ on his 1,000th game with the Chicago Cubs. He's been with one team only. That's very impressive.
Very impressive. And I feel like, obviously not thinking about the end of his career, but I feel like he's a guy who can play the very vast majority of his career on the north side.
Well, he almost wasn't on the Cubs there. That one trade deadline.
Yeah.
And now it seems like he'll be with the Cubs if he wants to for the rest of his career.
Yep. And I don't know if everybody listens to the compound, but him talking about the relationship that he has with the people in left field, almost tearing him up, that's what it's all about, man.
He got a standing ovation his first at bat in his 1000th game, and he tipped his helmet and everything.
Clearly, a guy that loves being on the north side and the people on the north side. I feel like. You can correct me if I'm wrong. There very rarely is somebody like, I can't stand Ian Happ.
No. Everyone struggles.
Yeah, the guy.
It's baseball.
I think he also might lead the National League in walks or something. Yeah, exactly. And
he seems like a really nice guy. And he's gotten into the podcast. At first, you go, well, he doesn't maybe have the personality for the podcast, but you kind of see his. I would say almost like a dry sense of humor.
Yes, very much so.
And then it's nice to see him, like I said, interact with the left field, and that's not always going to happen on every team.
And I'll say this. I know we're way off on a tangent here talking about the compound, but Dakota Mekas, what a gem. Absolutely love that guy on that show.
He replaced a guy in Kyle Schwarber that everyone loved out in left field, which he would be a DH probably.
That is true.
But you would think that everyone would want Kyle Schwarber. I mean, Ian Happ has filled that spot,
and he's just been a constant pro. Like, you can tell the way he approaches the game. He is locked in. He leads.
And one time he got called down.
Yeah, I remember that.
He had to go work on some things, and he said it was one of the best things ever happened to him.
And he could have easily taken it completely the other way.
He talks about the game, too, on the podcast throughout the season. It's very cool, and it's interesting, and they're on the marquee.
Yeah, and I think they're doing a live show at the end of the month. We might have to look into that.
Yeah, it's on a weekend, too.
Yeah, we might have to look into that. Speaking of things, though, you said you can't say a bad thing about. You want to hear some things you can say bad things about?
White Sox.
The Chicago White Sox, 2-10.
That was a tough look. I mean, he got hurt.
Yeah,
but I've never seen something like that.
They have lost 10. No, I'm sorry. What are they? 8 in a row now.
Yeah, they had a chance to tie the game out. They had the bases loaded, down 2, hit to left field, and I don't know if he still would have been safe or not. But
at least it would have been a play,
his ankle?
It looked like he was grabbing his hammy.
And first of all, did they even tag him out?
Yeah.
It didn't even seem like they did.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You don't want to do that because he's hurt.
Right. Yeah, that was a tough look.
But unfortunately, it happens, and it's just one of those things. It's like you don't want to be that way, but it's just the White Sox way to lose.
I think I saw the video on TikTok, and the exact phrase that they used was, no one finds ways to lose baseball games quite like the White Sox.
And you see people always say there's no way you could lose more games, but maybe
they might.
Because they started off.
I said that so many times on this podcast over the winter. There's no way this team can be as bad as they were.
Opening day, and I think they won one more game against.
Nope, they went 1-2 in their first series, 1-2 in their second series, and haven't won one since. They got to 2-2 the Monday. Remember, they almost no-hit Minnesota on the 4th game of the season on that Monday.
And they played tough games in the cold. They played a lot of cold
games.
But
they're just awful.
Yeah, it's one of those things you look at their roster and you just there's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
Andrew Vaughn goes on the IL.
Luckily for them, they do have, they're starting to build back up that farm system.
Farm system. I think their AAA team
They were in that top 10.
Yeah, they're like the top 5 or 10.
Yeah, so like there are some reserves, but
I think they have 2 teams in the top 10.
Yeah, I think Birmingham might have been in it. But I said many times on these airwaves over the winter, there's no way this White Sox team is going to be as bad as they were last year. I'm thinking I was wrong.
2-10 is not how you want to start the season. And it's just nothing's harder in baseball than to like dig yourself out of a spot like that.
Absolutely. On the positive front, though, you can start your morning off a lot better than the White Sox do when they look at the box score. And that's with a cup of coffee from our friend at Connect Roasters. Make sure that you check out their website, connectroasters.com.
I'm pretty sure I saw Ben Brown.
With
some, Connect Roasters coffee. I think it's in the clubhouse, too.
It sure is.
Been keeping them warm.
Hey, Ian Happ, 1,000 games as a Cub, 3 gold gloves. How about that catch on Saturday? I bet if he'd have had a couple Folgers in the morning, not making that catch.
Yeah.
No chance. So make sure you check our friends out at Connect Roasters, connectroasters.com, at Connect Roasters on X. But get yourself over to Bourbonnais and get yourself a fresh cup of Connect Roasters coffee. So as always, big shout out to our friends over at Connect Roasters. Let's jump into it, Zach. It's Masters Week. We've already talked about it a little bit. We've got a new team builder in the famous food menu. So we're big guys. We're big eaters here. So we are going to build our perfect menu with just $20. So you want to...
Stuff is cheap.
Stuff is cheap. We're going to eat like kings for a day. Make sure you go to the YouTube. If you haven't seen the menu, I'm not going to read down everything here because there's so much stuff. But we each have $20 to spend. We got to get us through a full day of eating, okay?
The most expensive thing is white wine and beer at $6.
So, do you want to go first or do you want me to?
I'll go first.
All right.
I have to get the pimento cheese.
You got
it's
it.
$1.50.
Are you just getting
one? I
one?
don't know if I'd like it.
No, I forgot there's coins in here. We're going to have to do some math.
But, yeah, I would like the pimento cheese.
All right.
Just because everyone gets it, you got to get it.
All right, so you got $18.50 left.
You got to get the Masters Club just because it sounds cool.
Yeah, I agree there. So you're at $4.50. Boy, you got to...
I got a long way
I hope you got
to
a little Walmart bag or something.
We'll go at the breakfast. The breakfast sandwich, I'll go with that. It's $3.
Okay.
And get a little mixed fruit there.
Now, how many? So the soft drinks are $2. How many soft drinks are we gonna have to? Because I got to add that to it.
I'm gonna go 3 or probably 3.
3. Okay, so you're at 6 plus your $4.50. Now you're $10.50. Did you say something between your breakfast, Sammy?
I said the fresh mixed fruit, which is $2.50.
Okay, so we are now at $13.
Go with the snack. You know the peanuts, $1.75.
Man, I should have
rounded
rounded these up. $14.75. You got 5 1/4 left.
That is crazy. You know, I'm going with the Georgia peach ice cream sandwich.
Okay. 5 1/4. You got what was that? $3. You got 2 1/4 left.
There's nothing at a quarter, so
you got to throw in another soft drink or something for under $2.75.
I have $2.75.
Or no, I'm sorry, 2 1/4.
2 1/4. I'll go. You know, I'm gonna go bottled water.
All right. Yeah, you got to mix in a water.
We'll keep the quarter.
Oh well, what a guy. I'm gonna go. My breakfast.
I did not know how insanely cheap everything is.
And how about Darren Ravel with the dumbest take of the year?
I don't see
he's
what
like,
he tweets.
Something about like none of this food would be talked about if it wasn't for the price. Like, yeah, no kidding, Darren, you dork. Like,
yeah, we're not talking about concession food.
And not even it's concession food and it's cheap, dude. We're not going to Ruth's Chris over here. We're going to the concession stand for a pimento cheese sandwich.
But also don't forget how expensive the tickets are.
Exactly. So I'm going to start my day off. I'm going to go chicken biscuit for $3 just to get things started. I'm going to build myself in 4 soft drinks. As long as I got diet something, I'm good. So that's 8 and 3. That's 11. Okay, so I got $9 left. I am going to go 2 pimento cheese sandwiches, 2 egg salad sandwiches. That puts me at 17. Last $3 on the Georgia peach ice cream sandwich.
That
sounds like a great day of eating,
I will
buddy.
swap out one soft drink for the Masters Blend Fresh Brew Coffee.
Fair enough. I'll give you that one.
I love how they just put Masters at the beginning of it to make it sound like it's just not regular coffee.
Absolutely. So let us know what you guys would eat with $20. We are going to move on to our Masters preview. Obviously, me and Zach love playing golf. So we'll just jump into some of the big names. We're recording this Thursday, so round one has already happened. I will say I've talked about this before. Me and my friends do a snake draft where we all pick 6 guys. So I'm going to go down my team here. Justin Rose, how about that? He's in the lead, 7 under.
He has been in the lead like a lot of rounds.
Yeah.
Has he ever won it?
I don't think so. Now, some people are going to get mad at me if I'm wrong here, but whatever. Really happy because I'm trying to look to see what round I took Justin Rose in, but I'm fairly certain that it was like the 4th round.
Oh, wow.
The 4th round, I got him. He's in the lead, so obviously going to be pulling for him here. I got Bryson DeChambeau, McCarthy.
He played well.
Burns.
DeChambeau played well.
Yep. Tied for 5th is Bryson. Burns at +1. Will Zalatoris at +2. And then I took Thomas Dietrich, who's at +7. But obviously, some of the big names at the top. You got Scotty Scheffler tied for 2nd with 4 under. Scotty's always going to be there.
Made some unreal putts in the first round.
He is obviously Tiger. But he is one of, if not the best putter I've ever seen.
Yeah. And
I don't say that like the guy around the green and on the green is just
he's unbelievable.
Automatic.
He's unbelievable.
It's insane.
Especially with as much competition as there is.
Right. And that's kind of the cool thing about golf since Tiger's been gone is the parity of the last 10 years, right?
Yeah. And it's just golf has also gotten better too.
Yes, 100%. Ludwig Aberg, name that gets talked about a lot. He is also tied for 2nd with Scotty.
Rory had a double bogey on a hole because he is looking for the Grand Slam.
Oh yeah,
he has not won the Masters.
He's never won the Masters. Yep.
He's been close, very close before, but he kind of struggled there at the end. And then, like I said, the guy that Boomy had shot a 90.
Yeah, no, I did not have him.
Oh,
the guy I had Thomas Dietrich. Tom Bauer had Tony. I think it's Nick Dunlap.
Yeah, imagine what we would do.
I don't even want to think about it.
200.
Yeah, I'm thinking we would be like 175. If we had to play every ball as
John
it lied.
Rahm hit a ball and he almost snapped his driver because he was so mad.
Yep.
Like I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, it'd be one of those we just have to.
I don't know if they'd
accept it.
Let me play.
They would never.
Well, they do this thing though, where I think if you work there or if you're like on the broadcast, they do a lottery.
Yeah, it's the journalists, people that cover.
A certain amount of people get to play. Yeah. One guy played, and it was his first time ever.
I thought it was a lady last year.
Oh, it was his first time ever playing golf.
Yeah, that's what we would look like out there.
Imagine though.
That would be wild. Some other big names that are kind of in the hunt here, still under par. Jason Day, 2 under. Harry English, 2 under.
The big story of the day though was a man went to the bathroom in the one of the lakes.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Like one of the players?
Yeah, one of the players.
Oh, my gosh. Throw him in jail. We can't have this at the tradition that is the Masters.
Yeah, and he also had a hat with upside-down lettering.
Oh,
too.
my gosh.
They asked him about it, and he said he would do it again.
Public execution.
Yeah. But, I mean, when you got to go...
This is what it feels like.
I mean, that's just what golf courses are made for.
Yeah, I'm sure there's not porta potties laying around Augusta.
Well, if there is, just what does it matter?
Yeah, exactly. Colin Morikawa finished even par.
Actually, I thought there'd be a lot more of an uproar about what happened.
Just give it some time. People will always find something. So if you got to, let's say, me and you, I'm going to go Justin Rose. I think Justin's going to finish this off. 7 under?
I know this is chalk.
Can't take Scotty. Everybody's going to take Scotty.
Well, Scotty is just on fire. He's making crazy putts, and he's used to the moment.
I also think if I didn't have I really like Ludwig Aberg a lot, and obviously I'm a big Bryson guy. Me and you have gone.
I like Bryson nowadays.
Yeah, you've come around because we used to argue about Bryson.
Win. I like Brooks Koepka. He kind of fell off there.
Kind of stinks.
Kind of stinks. He's won like 5 majors.
What have you done for me lately?
Oh goodness. But Bryson DeChambeau, what a 180.
Oh,
He has
100%.
taken people at one point couldn't stand him.
Oh, yeah.
And now he is with YouTube and stuff like that. He's loved
Big time.
It's just a course like that is not really made for him because it's not like you can outdrive. It's a course where you got to finesse it.
Yep. Do you think Lefty's going to make the cut? He's
I don't know.
Over.
I was watching part of my take, and I kind of got roped into taking him because he played well in the last few live events.
Yep.
And it is the Masters. He's won it before, and I think he was +3 today.
Yep, +3 after the first round.
I mean, so that means he's 10 strokes down from winning.
Yeah.
And I whatever. I'd like to see Rory win it. It'd be cool to see a Grand Slam.
Yeah, that is. I'll give you that.
I wanted Max Homa to make a run, but he's at +2.
+2,
I think.
yep.
You
know, it's one of my favorite younger. I don't even know if younger is the right word, but one of the newer faces is that Shaith Thagala.
Yeah,
I like him a lot. He shot even today. He's still obviously in the hunt. 7 is a lot of strokes.
Even par. There could be a rainy day, or I think it's supposed to be pretty nice.
Yeah,
but anything can happen at this course.
Tommy Fleetwood, one of my favorites, 1 over. So there's a lot of guys there between 1 under, between even and 3 over that are going to be fighting, for the cut there. So it'll at least be interesting.
Because if you start in the afternoon, now you're in the morning.
Yep.
You're in the morning, you're in the afternoon, so that could change how you play.
Would you prefer day 1? Would you prefer to play in the morning and then play in the afternoon the next day, or start later, play early the second?
I'd rather start later, play early.
Start later. See, and I almost...
Because then you kind of don't have too much time to think about it between.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there.
Play in the morning and then you play in the afternoon, you got a long time.
My only argument about playing in the afternoon on the first day, and obviously Augusta is completely different, but you don't know where guys have stepped. You're at least getting a fresh course, and if you are struggling at all on the first day, you don't know if that's going to play into.
But a place like Augusta is it's unreal.
Yeah,
it's not real course if you think about it.
Right. No, it's an interesting thing. Let us know what you guys
unfortunately
prefer.
Well, not unfortunately, but unlike us, they're not hitting the balls crazy and
yeah, that's true.
Unnecessary divots and stuff like that.
Yeah, unless your name is Nick Dunlap.
And even at that, he probably didn't have. He had a bad round, but
yeah. Let's see. He went
a normal golfer would do.
So Nick Dunlap went bogey, par, bogey, bogey, triple, par, 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 bogey, par, double, double, bogey, bogey, par, double, bogey.
Add a few more triples, and that's my round the other day.
Exactly. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm really hoping for my guy Justin Rose.
It just shows you what the course can do, though.
I feel like I pick him a lot in our fantasy things, and it doesn't usually work.
He went to Northwestern, I think.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he went to Northwestern.
That sounds right. Let's move on. We got to wrap up the college basketball season in our college hoops corner. I'm going to set my microphone down and just give one final one of these.
It was a good game.
Gators win it all, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
I would like to see at least a shot go up at the end. You wouldn't want to because you're the Florida, but at least give it a little bit of a chance. He couldn't touch it because it traveled.
Yeah,
it traveled.
I like what Big Cat said though. Pick it up and force the ref to blow that whistle.
Yeah, I don't think they called.
Oh, they would have 100%.
They would have had.
They called it in the Final Four.
But make them call it.
Yep, I don't disagree there.
If you pick that up, at least you get a chance to foul.
Yep,
and you have at least a little bit more time.
Yeah,
at least it gives you a chance.
Phenomenal. We talked about this. I still think it was a great tournament because it's the NCAA tournament. Final Four and the final were you can't ask for 3 better games.
Was pretty good too.
Yeah, close games
Arkansas had good games and stuff.
Yeah.
It was good games. Texas Tech.
Florida got down 10 to Texas Tech with 3 minutes. Everything was good. Outside of, there only being 1 or 2 upsets in the first weekend, phenomenal.
There's a reason why you want all 4 number ones in the Final Four.
Yes.
Because
you got those games.
Great games.
You got the Duke choke, which was just chef's kiss.
Unreal. That was one of the worst chokes in college history.
Yeah, they didn't score for like the last 8 minutes or something.
That is maybe
or
one of the
not
most
last 8. They went on
talented rosters a college basketball team will ever have.
Yes.
And they didn't make it to the championship game.
Insane. And one of the things that I liked a lot, and obviously I follow Florida, so Florida played like 38 games this year. I probably watched 20 of them just with my winter schedule. Florida had 0 5-stars, 1 4-star recruit, and the rest were 3 or under. And I think that Houston was just the same, if not less, of those numbers.
Houston had experience. And at the end of games like that, you see where that comes into play.
And I know we've kind of turned the table on Rick Pitino, but Rick Pitino once said that Walter Clayton was too fat and slow to play guard at the Division I level. Yeah, shove that one up your you-know-what, Rick Pitino. You couldn't be more wrong.
To score 30 points in the Final Four. Who is the other one?
30 points in the Final Four. Joakim Noah.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. Shout out Larry. But a phenomenal Final Four, obviously. Zach, if you want, when you're editing this, you can throw the video in of me celebrate. Yeah. The little man had went to bed, so my wife
so you definitely did not want to
got diagnosed with pink eye like 10 hours before that. So the wife
almost broke your chair.
That chair's on its last leg anyway. Wife may have had to have some words with me about my celebration. So if you want to throw that in when you're editing.
Once in a lifetime.
Exactly. 3 times in my lifetime now.
Oh, yeah, but that was what?
2006, 2007.
Was that? So that would be 13 years ago?
No. Whoa.
18 years ago.
Bad math there.
Way bad math. You think I'm good at math?
19 and 18 years ago, yeah. But yeah, phenomenal season. Do you think we're going to start to see a swing of like more Cinderellas, or is this going to be?
I don't know if you're going to see much difference in this year. I mean,
I do.
You never know.
Because all you got to do is tell these kids that go to a McNeese State. Everyone said that you can't do this anymore. Like the Cinderellas are done. I think that you're going to see a swing back.
But you're seeing a lot of players that were on like a McNeese go to a big team because they want to win.
Right, but you're also going to see guys that sat the bench at like Auburn or Florida that go to Kennesaw State, and turns out they're really, really good. They just never got the opportunity because they were sitting behind Alex Condon, who played, 32 minutes a game.
You're going to see more, was it Braum? You're going to see more of that than you're going to see the other way.
I also think there's a big swing in guys, and we saw it with, who was the big white kid that played at Michigan? Duncan Robinson. Played D3, dominated there, and then transferred into Michigan. You're starting to see more of those kids that dominate at the D2, D3, NAIA level that are transferring into these big schools. And obviously, we've always seen JUCO transfers, but you didn't see it as much before the last 5 years of guys going from D3 to D1 after they averaged 27 a game at the D3 level.
And you see like a team like Rutgers, who has probably 3 or 4 NBA players on there.
Not even make the tournament. Or Kansas State, who spent
it can really go either
$15 million in NIL, and they don't make the tournament.
Truthfully, the way that the transfer portal is going, it could go either way.
I agree.
At any time.
And I think we're going to see it the way we saw it this year, where like 1 year is going to be very chalk, and then the next year it's going to swing rapidly because guys change schools so much.
Like Arizona next year is going to be stacked.
Right.
A team like that. So you're going to see different teams be really good.
Yep.
But with the transfer portal, you're not going to see consistency.
Yeah, I agree there. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I think next year it would be a year to me, maybe not next year, maybe the year after, where you start to see those Cinderellas, and then they'll make a run. And then it'll be a couple more years, and we'll see another chalk Final Four. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to –
It's just so tough because you're never going to know until the tournament what you would – because, at the beginning of the tournament, you kind of could tell.
Yeah, you said it the day before the tournament started. So, it'll be very interesting to see. I'm excited.
It'll keep it exciting because I think every other year or so it's going to be different.
I have you tell me this all the time, but I have also – again, come to the realization that I have a problem. I have been checking the transfer portal every single day.
Think about it. 10 years ago, teams were like back-to-back teams with Florida.
Yep.
You're not going to see that a lot anymore. I mean, you just saw it with UConn, but that's going to be so hard to do nowadays.
But even that UConn team had different faces.
Because even like, let's say a fourth starter at Florida will want to go to be the number one starter somewhere else.
Yep, exactly.
And it depends on what school has the money.
Yep.
Like a St. John's. They weren't good.
St. John's was a bottom dweller for 2 decades.
And now they have NIL money. I think the guy who sold body armor went to St. John's. And, like, it just depends on who has the money, too.
Exactly. Yeah, whichever rich donors you can.
Or what if you get a new coach.
Yep, very true.
Like you see McNeese State, they do well. And then
Will
they lose
Wade's
their
gone,
coach.
yeah. And
he
their
goes
manager.
To a bigger school. And, yeah, they're – and
shout out to the managers.
But I think that you'll see a lot more parity in – college basketball nowadays, that you'll see consistency.
Yep.
Which kind of sucks, but at least like other teams will be good.
Yeah, you're gonna. I think you nailed it there. I'm excited.
Florida started off as this team that was like dominant. Then they kind of fell off in a little bit in the middle.
Yep.
And then they got really good at the end.
Yep.
Like that doesn't usually happen a lot.
Yeah, and I'm very excited to see the future of college basketball. I know a lot of old heads are probably
I mean, what is it? Like
shaking their fists right now.
750 players?
Oh, no, it's more than – it's like 7,000.
7,000?
In the NCAA port. No, maybe it's not that. I want to say it was in the thousands.
Either way, though, that's insane. That's you think about how many, what is there, 300 and something
363
teams?
Yeah.
So that's at least 3 players a team on average.
Yep. Let me look. It's not thousands, but I think
it's like 750 plus.
That was on the first day. 729 on the first day entered. But I think what the number I got in the thousands was all of the NCAA Division 2, 3.
They gotta wait until the last game's over with.
Yep.
I think that they should not.
1,000
the transfer portal should not open.
I
until
completely agree.
The championship game is done with.
Right now, as of April 9th, so yesterday, 1,729 men's college basketball players have entered the NCAA transfer portal.
And I know maybe this is people won't like this take, but I also think coaches should not be able to take another job until their season is over with.
For the most part, that's always been the case, but like
nowadays,
this year with
like,
Kevin Willard, that was very weird.
Either you do what who was the guy from McNeese State?
Will Wade.
Do what he did.
Yeah.
I'd rather see that than try and be like, well, you take a team to what Maryland made to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And you could tell in his voice he was going somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
But he didn't say it.
Yeah.
At least say it.
I don't disagree.
I think it's sneaky, and you don't want players to do it, but a coach can do it.
Yeah, I think there was a kid, I can't remember where he was from.
Remember back in the day, there were certain like players, if they transferred out, you could block them from going to like a conference team.
Teams, yep. Or, yeah, where you could block them really from whatever you wanted.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about nowadays because you can go anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see where we go going forward. Let's wrap things up. We've got the TCF NOT top 3 of the worst sports movies. This may get contentious. So do you want to go first or do you want me to go first, Zach?
I'll go first because you're not going to pick this one either way. The Space Jam's A New Legacy. LeBron ruined the movie series.
You're such a hater. It's unbelievable.
It was not good. LeBron's not a good actor, first of all. And I just think that sequels just ruin movies.
Also, I'm not going to disagree. I'll be very honest. Big LeBron guy, never saw it.
I did see it just because one of those things you got to like watch. And I did not like it.
Fair enough. I can't even really argue with you.
But I do go into it with a bias that I do not like LeBron.
I'm going to piss a lot of people off. Bull Durham.
I like the movie, but it's not like my favorite movie.
And
it's one of those movies, it's a good baseball movie, but
ruined by a love story.
Yeah, that's the thing is like
I don't need the love story. Get to the baseball.
Yeah, because like Major League put it in the movie, but it wasn't like the main focus.
Yes. It felt like
it was
Bull
a love
Durham
story with a little bit of baseball in
Yes. Now, I'm not saying that my list is like they're just horrible movies. When I want to sit down and want to watch a sports movie, I want the sports part of it. I don't need, and that's probably what a majority of my list is going to be. Except I'm also going to throw one here. I argue with my my coaching friends about this all the time. Coach Carter.
Oh. Goodness, that's a great movie. I love that movie. I will say
it's all fake. Movie. It's all made up.
So is most of the Hoosiers.
This got ruined for me by my dad like when the movie came out. I was so pumped about it, and my dad went to a coach's
You have
clinic.
to make a movie exciting.
I understand.
Hoosiers, that was not the real story that happened.
Actually, the Hoosiers movie is more aligned with the Alden Hebron story from Illinois up north that won the state championship.
Yeah, so it's still a fabricated story.
It's not, though.
But it is. Like, that's not really what happened.
It's a culmination of what happened in
on
Milan.
that team.
It's a combination of what happened in Milan and Alden Hebron. I got a little insight. I know the athletic director there now. He told me. I don't know.
So it's a mixture of two stories. That's not a full story.
That's a full story.
No, it's not. It's
two halves make a whole.
Yeah, but not a full story. Like, that's one team, another team. That's taking two teams and
do you want a little inside baseball here? He told me this. I don't know if I'm allowed to repeat this. Hopefully he doesn't catch this. They came and they wanted to do the story about the Alden Hebron team, 1952. Had like less than 100 kids, won the Illinois state title, back when they only had one class. They wanted to include the storyline about having a drunk assistant coach, and the people from Alden Hebron refused to do that because the assistant coach there was so revered, and people loved him so much.
So a fake story is what you're talking about.
No, that came from another one. What's your second round pick?
Fever Pitch.
Yeah, that movie sucked.
I'm not a fan of
hated
Jimmy Fallon in general. I think
and it's about the Red Sox and a love story.
Yeah, and runs across the field and everything. I do not like that movie.
I'm completely with you there. I've watched it once, and I will not rewatch it.
But the part of the movie I do like is when he gets the tickets.
Yeah.
And he has all the tickets. They don't do that nowadays.
I agree.
Like the paper tickets.
I probably haven't seen that movie since like 2007.
No, but now I cannot stand Jimmy Fallon.
All right, what's your third pick?
All of the Major League sequels.
Okay,
Major
fair
League
enough.
is a great movie, one of my favorite movies. But then they make just random.
Yeah.
I think they made 2 more sequels. Both stunk.
Yeah, I can't even argue with that. I didn't hate Major League 2, but it certainly did not.
They don't need to do that. It's like The Hangover. You don't need multiple hangovers.
Yes.
It's the same story. You're going to have the same thing happen. It's a baseball where you're going to probably win.
Yep.
It's just stupid.
My third round pick, this is probably semi-sacrilegious because of the backstory here, but it's Rudy because I hate Notre Dame. Talk about a story that did not happen.
Yeah.
That movie's way faker than Hoosiers would ever be.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I know we've said it on the show, but our grandma grew up with the Rudiger family.
Overall, it's a good movie, like the inspiration behind it.
And then to find out that like nobody there liked him.
Well, they did the thing where they put their jerseys down.
None of that
anyone
happened.
actually did that.
Yeah, and it was more of like a joke to the team. And I just hate Notre Dame. That's why I can't stand the movie. But yeah, it does feel, every time I talk about how much I hate that movie, I do think of our sweet grandma who grew up in the same neighborhood as the Rudiger
that's
family.
When you grow up and then you figure out like the backstories to movies. Sometimes it ruins it.
Yep, absolutely. What do we got for this? This is probably, how do you feel? I'm not the biggest fan of the movie Moneyball.
Nah, I like that movie. I should have put this in there. Draft Day.
Never saw it.
I like Draft Day.
Never saw that one.
It's very unrealistic.
Tin Cup for me. Too much love story. I know. Listen, people are going to come for me, and that's okay. Bull Durham's baseball parts of the movie are great.
Yeah, but
some of the best one-liners.
It's a love story with a little bit of baseball.
And here's another one. I don't know how much if you've ever seen Love and Basketball.
I've never seen that movie.
No, it's not great. And that's one that's like very, very well loved in the basketball community. Too much love story. How is Love Guru a sports movie?
I saw that. That's not because technically, in the movie he like is a love guru for I think Justin Timberlake, who's a hockey player.
All right.
So that's probably why. But that's an awful movie too.
I haven't seen it yet, but the things that I have, like the clips, the new White Men Can't Jump with Jack Harlow. Woof.
I've seen that there is a Caddyshack 2.
Yes.
That
I don't know if I've
good.
ever seen it. Yeah, I'm trying to go.
There's a Bad News Bears like Japan or something like that I think I'd seen.
Have you seen both Bad News Bears, the original one and the Billy Bob Thornton?
The Billy Bob Thornton
They're
one more.
both phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that it's a very good movie that was good When they first made it,
Yes.
and then when they remade it, it was also good. That's hard to do.
Yes, The Ringer. What a movie. Yeah, let us know what you guys would pick. There's so many good movies.
Fighter's a great movie.
Fighter's a great movie. Warrior's a great movie.
Rocky had too many movies.
Rocky did have too many movies, but I'll be honest, I would pick to watch Rocky 4 before I would ever watch one.
I
of the
just don't
Major
understand
League
why they need so many
sequels.
Rockies. It was all the same, pretty much.
Well, and not
concept.
even that. It's all then like the Creed movies, right? Then
Well,
they
yeah.
formed that universe. That. Let us know what you guys would pick because that is about it for
Like, I
us.
guess you would say Benchwarmers is technically not a great
Oh,
sports
it's such a good
but
movie.
It's so stupid, it's funny.
So stupid, it's funny. Yeah, let us know what you guys would pick. What your least favorite sports movies
And
are?
I saw one. It was with Matt LeBlanc and a gorilla.
Yes, in a chimp.
Yeah, chimp.
What was that movie? Oh my God, we need to watch that. Yes,
I think it was called Ed.
Matt LeBlanc baseball movie.
That
I'm fairly
looked
certain.
horrible.
Yes, Ed from 1996. I don't know, dude. Monkeys are my favorite animals, so I might like
it was
that.
before.
It was during Friends.
During Friends?
Yeah,
I mean, that can't be good.
I disagree. That's any dude.
Hot take. Not a fan of Air Bud.
We were big fans of Air Bud when we were little.
Yeah,
though.
but now you look back on it, it's like, this is just unrealistic.
Some of the greatest like TikTok videos and memes I've ever seen be like, imagine you get benched for the golden retriever.
For a golden retriever that's like dunking the ball.
Yeah, but I
Hitting
will.
home runs or something.
I'll say this: you put a chimp or a gorilla in any movie, automatically better.
I know this is worse movies, but low key, one of my favorite baseball movies, 61.
Yeah,
That movie is amazing.
I don't know if I've ever watched that one.
It's the one with Roger Maris.
Yeah.
And just kind of like what he went through.
We've done it before. We've done the best sports movie draft, but we can just keep bringing that one back because
Question: what is your thoughts on Mr. 3000?
kind of a guilty pleasure movie.
I think it's a good
like
movie,
it.
but I saw it on a lot of not good movies.
Yeah, I get why people don't like it. Obviously,
The premise of it's kind of dumb, but like I love Bernie Mac.
yeah, that's
He
the
was a
thing.
great actor, and he was so funny, and I think that he did a good job of what they were trying to do.
Yep.
But
I also hate the Brewers,
yeah,
so that was kind of
I
hard.
think the Brewers was where they went wrong.
I
You
agree.
picked one of the like lesser known teams in all of baseball.
Yeah,
You
one of the
you could've done
smallest
Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, even like the Dodgers or something like that.
Yep.
But you picked the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, I can't even really argue with you there. I personally like the movie a lot.
I think it was good, but I did like going through like you go to type in worst sports movies.
Yeah,
it's on there.
I can understand if you're not like a diehard baseball fan. I understand why you don't like it.
But I think it's a good premise.
Oh, for
He
sure.
has to come back and hit it like, but it's so
What was it?
unrealistic.
3 hits he's got to get.
Yeah, but they take him
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Like, it's so unrealistic,
Yeah. Absolutely.
especially back then. Nowadays, that could maybe happen because of like all the replay
Yeah.
and stuff like
all
that.
the
But like at that time, there was never going to be a time where they take 3 hits away from a guy who has 3,000 hits.
yeah. I might have gotten myself The Love of the Game. Do you remember that? For the Love of the Game. That's another movie. I don't need the love story. Kevin Costner.
I don't
Even
like
though I
sports
love Kevin
movies with
Costner.
love stories.
Yeah, it is
Like I
what
said,
it
Major
is.
League kind of has it in there, but not really.
Because I went more with my list of like movies that everybody loves that I've seen Bull Durham a couple times. It doesn't do it for me the way that like Field of Dreams is
And you
so
also
much better than
you
Bull
went
Durham.
with ones that like you found out the story was not
Yeah,
the same.
it kind of got ruined. And you got to remember though, we've talked about this a million times. I just became a movie guy like 5 years ago.
Well, yeah, and there's also movies you see as a kid, and then you grow up and you think, well, now you actually know the actual backstory
Yeah.
of it, and
For
it
sure.
kind of changes a little bit. Because they try
Absolutely.
to portray it as this real story
When it's not
when
quite
it's
that.
not, and then sometimes that makes you mad.
Absolutely. Let us know what your guys' least favorite sports movies are because that is it. That was
Wait,
episode.
one more. Rookie of the Year.
Love it.
But the premise of a kid
It-
that has an arm like that, like that's just crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. It almost made me want to break my arm when I was 8
Yeah, I
years old.
think that was maybe the problem.
Yeah.
That kids thought, oh, if I break my arm,
If I
I'll
snap
be
my
able
arm
to
in half,
pitch
I'll be
97 miles an hour.
You want to know what's also crazy about that movie?
Also a love story.
Gary Busey's in it. Gary Busey is off the rails.
Also a love story. kind of get.
Yeah, a little bit. Gary Busey and
Seems like a lot
Henry's
of
mom.
old school sports movies had to have some sort of love story.
Yeah. Yep, you're right. You're right. That's it for us. Episode 253. Check us out on X at @typical_Chicago, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you follow us there. For all of our content in video form, head over to YouTube.
Make sure you got your sports facts of the day.
Yep, Chicago
sports
typical.
Facts. Oh,
typical
not
day
always
in
Chicago
history.
Based, but
It's usually
to.
always something. I find a way to connect it to Illinois in some form or fashion.
but
So
365 days in the year, it's hard to find.
yeah,
All
there's
of them
there's some
Illinois
days that
related.
yeah, it's a little tough. But make sure on TikTok, typical Chicago fan on there.
Also, if you're listening, check out the YouTube. We're doing a little bit more every day with it. And then, like you said, especially if you just go kind of check out the top or the team builders.
Yes,
Those are always nice. You can see a picture of it.
Yep.
And everything instead of just kind
especially this week. So I'm not
this week's
reading
was
a
a
full
lot.
Masters food
And
menu.
also, I did not realize just how cheap the food actually was.
Yeah, we might have to put in for these
I honestly didn't know
lottery
they sold
tickets.
beer there.
That is true. I thought about that too, especially with the South sometimes having dry counties and stuff.
But we are not fans of going to the Masters until we get tickets.
Until we get tickets.
And then
Until then,
I'll love it.
Yep, absolutely. You can find me on X at BoomyTCF. Make sure you follow Zach there at ZLiliaTCF. We will be back next week with episode 254. But that is all for episode 253 of Typical Chicago Fans. We love you all.
Peace.